Welcome to the Lost and Found podcast. I'm your host, Amanda. Join me each week as I rediscover my life's meaning, my passions, and my place in this world after leaving behind the only dream I've ever known. If you're dealing with self-loss, identity changes, career transitions, or you're still trying to figure out your life's purpose, then you're not alone. Join me. Wanderers are always welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Lost and Found podcast. This is your host, Amanda Powers. So nice to have you here again. Thank you for showing up and showing support for the show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. It's been a while since we chatted with each other. A lot has happened since I last spoke to you. I turned 35 in January. Woohoo. My brother, he turned 31. We did our family trip to Belize. That was our Christmas gift. That's kind of what our parents have been doing over the last few years. Instead of doing gifts, they like to do experiences. And so this year, our family trip was in January and we went to Belize. We barely missed that crazy ice storm that hit the South. So we flew out of Charlotte, got out as like one of the only flights leaving that day and made it to Central America. And then on our way back, got delayed because there was a second ice storm in the South, which was not as bad as the first one, but still barely missing the comings and goings of that. There's just been a lot going on. I know that I normally try and get an episode out every week, but I'm having technical issues. My video wasn't working, and now my audio doesn't work. And the whole point of me buying this expensive iPhone was because I was going to try and use it as my camera when I record. And I did all this research about how to connect it and do what you're supposed to do when you're doing the mirror sharing or whatever it's called. It's not working. And I'm worried about the Wi-Fi because I can't really record if I can't connect with people over Wi-Fi. So everything's been kind of messed up. I'm going to come up with some kind of solution. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but until that happens, I think most of our recordings either have to be without video at all or they need to be really short because I I don't have time. Things are getting ramped up at my office. We've got a lot of new business coming in. So I've been really busy and things with my mom's mother, my maternal grandmother, they're not getting better. And even though we have moved her into an assisted living situation, her health is just declining. And so that is taking its own toll on mostly my mom, but it is taking its toll on our family. So there's just a lot of other stuff going on the sidelines. And unfortunately, I can't dedicate myself to the podcast the way that I want to. And that has made me really sad and frustrated and feeling like an imposter all over again, way back when I first started. And you would think now, with being, almost 2.5 years into this, Amanda, you should feel great. You should feel like a pro. You should be smooth sailing. And the truth is, I'm not. And I don't know. I am not. I'm not. And I've, on top of all the other issues that have been going on in my personal life with now these tech issues, it's just making me feel like I'm even more behind at all, right? I'm more behind. I started this silly, stupid dream and I can't even follow through on it. And the number one thing that most people, or most of these gurus or content creators or digital product salesmen, whatever, full-time content creators tell you, you just have to show up. You just need to be there. You need to put yourself out there. You need to be vulnerable and connect with people. But how can I freaking do that if I don't feel confident and I don't feel like I'm actually providing anything useful? And then even when I do want to provide something useful, my tech doesn't work. So we're getting really rudimentary here, but I'll figure it out. I promise I will figure it out and more episodes will come. I am trying to plan some dates when I can come back to Nashville and I can record with people in March. So fingers crossed for me. If you know anybody that's in the Nashville area that you think would be a good guest, send them my way. Let them know. It's an open platform. We're here to talk about mainly millennials, but this could happen to anybody at any age. But there is a significant career crisis going on with millennials, and a lot of us are suffering from feeling like your path has crumbled beneath you. You were sold this dream that if you do what your parents tell you, you get good grades, you go to college, you get the family, you get married, you have the kids, you join the upper echelons of your industry, you climb that ladder, and at the top of that ladder, as long as it doesn't pull out from under you, you're going to feel great. It's going to be amazing. You're going to make all this money. You're going to be so successful and you're going to contribute to society, which is what really matters. Your product output matters. And that's what gives you value. And your identity gets wrapped up so easily in something like that because it's so simple. Those were step by step things to do. It's why it's so easy for people to sell that to you now as a digital product or something like that online, like 5 steps for how to grow your Instagram account, 10 steps to do on TikTok reels. So that way you can boost your followers, boost your engagement, all these different kinds of things. When it's bite sized like that, it's super simple. And you think, perfect, I'm going to cut and paste this, fill in what makes sense to me, and then go for it. And the truth is that society sold us a dream that they couldn't cash. And now a lot of us are stuck with the bag with our hands tied up, our thumbs up our butts, and blindfolded and beaten up and, just metaphorically threatened back to back to back with pandemics and wars and financial crises and housing market crashes, automobile industry crashes, second housing crisis because of COVID. And now all of your jobs are being threatened. All the jobs that they told you to go and get in college are now being threatened because of the invention of AI. And now your whole world that you used to create and poured your entire soul into can be replicated in less than a minute by a computer. So what do you do when your identity doesn't serve its purpose anymore? And that breakdown is entirely terrifying. And that's what I'm trying to do with this show. I'm trying to take you along my personal journey while I navigate that. I wasn't in the artistic, graphic designer, marketing, advertising industry. I didn't do business. I didn't do any of that stuff. I went very technical. I went very strategic and analytical, specialized in terrorism and sub-state violence for my grad degree, and my undergrad was psychology and intelligence and security studies. So I was national security through and through. I had a path that was going to take me to the federal government. If I wasn't going to go the military route, what's the next best version of that? And civil service was it for me. I was one of those millennial casualties. I hit my 30s and started to realize that the path I was on wasn't going to give me what I wanted. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how much effort I put into learning more, getting better, going to trainings, trying to work with different teams, trying to practice communication when I was really stressed. Like, there's only so much you can do when you're banging your head against the wall over and over again, where it's just not going to come together. It's not going to work. And I had to realize that just because the path that I fought so hard for started to feel more like a cage than a calling, that cage wasn't a failure. That was my growth opening. I was starting to push up against the boundaries of who I could become in that particular position. And it got really uncomfortable to realize that that happened that fast. Most people in the FBI had worked there for decades. It wasn't uncommon to have a retirement party for 25, 30, 40. I went to somebody's once that was 45 years. Ah, that's crazy for a retirement party. And I just assumed that that was going to be me. I assumed that that was where it was going to go. And boy, was I wrong, right? Like, I drank that Kool-Aid. I believed that it was so prestigious to join an agency and fulfill a mission like that, to uphold the Constitution of the United States and to protect the American people. That was it. If you broke open my chest and could look inside and see my heart, that is what it had. My heart is wrapped inside of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And, do the whole bleed red, white, and blue and all that bullshit. But as soon as as soon as the reality became that that dream was no longer going to happen, that that dream could not be my actual reality, I lost it. I lost myself. I lost my passion. I lost my motivation. And the last thing in the world is you want to be somebody in a position of power when someone's life is in your hands at that kind of level for national security related stuff, to be apathetic, to be disillusioned, to be disinterested in how the results turn out. If you're just a body in a chair showing up for your pension, that is not what I wanted out of my life. It's not what I wanted out of my career. And it's not what I wanted to look like or feel like at the end of my theoretical 20-25 year stint. And so I got out and started over and moved home and tried to start over all over again last year, kind of, because I left Nashville and moved in with my parents in one of their they have a lot of rental properties. They flip houses now as their retirement income, and they moved out of my great-grandmother's house so that I could move in, and they live in one of the nicer rentals now, but they're trying to move to North Carolina. So they'll be leaving anyway, probably at some point later this year if they can find the right house. So once that happens, what's the point? What's the point? Why be closer to family if they keep moving further away from you? And I know that's not the case. They're not doing that to me. They're doing it because they wanna live as well. They wanna live a life where they don't feel like they have to escape from it every day, where they don't hate their schedule, where they don't regret what they're looking at out the window, you know? I get it. I do. And I'm still trying to figure all that out. And so lately, I guess that's just where I've been. I've been struggling trying to figure out how do I connect to people and say what I wanna say, because I spent the vast majority of my life, 18 to 32, pretty much being told you have to be really careful about what you do, say, think, act, how you present yourself to the world, how you interact with people you don't know, how you interact with people you do know, and definitely not on social media. And so the irony being that here I am trying to turn myself into an identity crisis expert, and I still haven't pieced mine together. I have a vision of what I believe future Amanda looks like, but the last couple of weeks, it has felt really hard to step towards her. It has felt really hard to connect to her. She's so far above me. She's so much better organized. She has systems in place. She has a team working behind her. She's got the dream wardrobe, the dream schedule. She goes to the gym in the morning like a person. And I am so far away from her right now. And it's been kind of intimidating to try and pretend, quote unquote, to be her. But that's also one of the tips and tricks that all the other gurus like to tell you. Act like the person you want to become. Activate that. Tell your brain these things. Use neuroscience to start practicing all of these, not triggers for lack of a better term here, but to get your brain thinking about creating that reality that you love so much and want so badly. You have to start engaging like that, but it still feels not hypocritical, but fake, I guess. And that's the number one thing that I really don't want to do on this show. I don't want to come off fake. If I'm going to be so public online, I don't want to be fake. I don't want it to feel forced. I just want it to be me. I just want to talk and say what I'm actually dealing with and what I'm really learning along the way. And ideally, introduce you guys to other people who have been on a similar journey or who have felt similar things. And that way we can learn from them together. And then I just, I don't have any guests lined up for a while, not till March. So it's going to be a minute. It's just going to be me for a while. So I hope you love unhinged audio. If I can get the video to work, fingers crossed, I can figure out what's going on. If it's my internet or I need to buy a different camera, I'm praying to God it's not me needing to upgrade computers because bitch ain't got extra money right now for that. I'll figure it out. I've figured it out before. I will figure it out again. I love you guys. I really have got to cut it off here because I really don't know what's going to happen with this internet connection. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this to get it out there. But I love you. I mean it. I promise I'm still here. I promise I'm still trying to figure things out. And I will share with you as soon as I can. I'll put more content out there. If you're not following me already, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, YouTube, and I have a Substack that I've been trying to get going. That's another thing. I'm trying to put myself in 10,000 directions. I still have stuff for my website that I need to finish, but the website is live. You can go on there, follow along with the blog there. You can access all of my discount codes, all of the apps that I'm using, all of my bio if you want to connect as an advertiser, if you want to just learn more about the show, if you want to submit listener questions. We every now and then we will do a listener Q&A episode. Again, fingers crossed if I can get my audio and video synced up again soon. Ideally, I'd love to do something like that. I'm going to start putting the listener Q&A probably on the Substacks. So if you want to follow along there, that'll be a Substack bonus area. But love you guys and I hope you're doing okay. I hope if any of you were impacted by the storms recently, or if you're in Minnesota and you've been dealing with everything that's been going on in Minneapolis, I see you and I'm sending you so much love. And I'm so sorry that this is the state of the world right now. And no one deserves to live in fear like that. No one deserves to feel like they're completely hated or hunted. The world is a really messed up place right now. So lean on your neighbors, lean on that love. If I can get this done and edited, I'm going to add some resources for a few of the websites and places that I've donated to. If you want to contribute to anything like that, you're more than welcome to. Obviously, nobody is obligated, but feel free to do your own research on each of those as well. But I'm just going to list a couple of resources that I was shared and I know came from verified places from friends that have either lived there or have worked there in the past. So, anyway, that's all I got for you. I'm sorry this is not consistent right now. My life is not consistent. Every single day is a completely different day, completely different set of fires to put out. And I think internally, I'm doing everything I can to not feel like I'm drowning. So I appreciate your patience and appreciate you bearing with me. But I promise we're gonna get back to pivoting. We're gonna get back to feeling powerful and whimsical and creative AF. I promise it'll come back. The creativity ebbs and flows, the inspiration ebbs and flows, your motivation ebbs and flows, but it's your consistency and your dedication to the goal that keeps you going. So I just need to remind myself of that. All right. I love you. I mean it. You know how to find me. Everything is podcast for the loss. Substack, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And I will make sure to add all my emails and content info to the show notes. You can email me at hello@podcastforthelost.com. You can send listener Q&A questions there. If you want to remain anonymous, I will add the anonymous link as well. And until next time, I hope to see you soon. I hope to get these technical issues resolved. But until then, remember, wanderers are always welcome.